are live with Lawson, your very own friendly neighborhood crafting kaiju. How is everyone doing? Thank you, everybody. Have a, have a, I was trying really hard to have a nice intro. Up the painting, Jesus. Thank you. Hello, everybody that's joined us. Everybody that's chilling in the chat today. Who we got? Sorry, because I realized last time that the way I've got my camera set up, I can't see the chat properly, and I'm like. So I've got my phone to the side here. I'm learning slowly but surely. Hello, Jackaped. Yes, good, good. David Cousins. Hello, my good man. Very well here. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I've had a very low energy week. And I'm still kind of feeling it, but you know, I got my canned anxiety. I got my stinky boys to paint, and I got some lovely people to hang out and chill with on a Friday evening, or wherever you are, whatever time zone you're at, like Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday dead at night, with me, Lawson, on Living Let's Dice. Head movements. I know. I occasionally have been known to move my head and other parts of my body. It's usually from sort of like here to the toilet, or from here to the fridge, or to my painting desk. Because this is not actually where I usually paint. This is just my special streaming area for all you lovely, lovely people at home. So yes, last week we did Death Guard because the codex went up for pre-order. Tomorrow the codex comes out for real, and I'm really hoping that the code that they sent us works because I want to have a look. The future is pretty good. Well, like it's all right. It's all right. I don't want to say it's doom and gloom. Like your future results may vary from mine. But yes, so we've got some death guards. So we've got these guys here. See, I even like checked out to make sure that they'd all be like, in focus and stuff too, so you can see them. So we've got what we call this baby shit and toxic piss. Having these having a good time with those ones. So yes, today's beverage of choice is also a noxious green can of Monster Energy Ultra Paradise. So that's like when you've been extra good, you get to go to Ultra Paradise. But yeah, how's everybody been doing? So a good week, middling week. Any stories of note? I like a good funny story, or even just tell me how you're doing. It doesn't even have to be funny. Just how people are doing. While I get sorted with these guys. Right. So where we left off is that we made this like a little grubbier. Haven't done much with him because a lot of it needed to be drying, but he is looking very sore, which I quite like. So where should we start? Where shall we start? I'll tell you what, we'll start with like his noxious cloud. We'll see what we can get going on there. Nope, that's the wrong paint. So you shake the devil out of it. Shake the absolute dickens. Some plague bearer flesh. And we'll get a nice wash brush. Oh, that's a bit googie, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Oh, let's go. Okay. So we'll make this all nice and gross. We'll also paint on the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I promise I do actually paint these things. I don't just have Mikey crouched just out of shot. So get these things done. So joining Jules on his bike rides. I don't have a bike, but we do have Jules's bike. We have one of Jules's bikes. He left it with us when he was shipping his stuff out back down to Wales. Walmart working is in such a bad neighborhood that the Home Office decided we need riot shutters. Oof. Jesus. I had a phone question yesterday. My aunt kicked the fortune in the middle. Your cat is now magic, Jekka. So, just keep an eye out on what that cat has to say from here on in. So yeah, we're just dosing that full of plague bearer. We'll probably like wash that down a bit more as well. Make it extra googy. I will tell you what Mikey is doing crouched underneath my table. His best. His absolute best. And he will be streaming straight after me on his very own Twitch channel, Fang and Bang. So if you want to go check him out after this, you should. I don't know what he's streaming, because that's usually, he just sort of comes up with it last minute. I'm just going to move these entirely out of the way there, because I realize I've been reaching a lot, and I'm just going to bash everything again like I did last time. So just shifting some things around. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. Okay, so now he's doing some stuff. So this is nice. It's nice. It's noxious, but it's not. There's not enough difference going on here and here. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of highlight. Oh, so this one we're going for moon yellow. Moon yellow. Oh, Mikey says he's going to be doing Binding of Isaac, Keeper, and Forgotten runs. I'm still trying to get the Forgotten. Is it what I'm trying to get? I can't remember now. Basically, Mikey is just top tier Binding of Isaac player, and I'm just sort of scrabbling around in the basement, like throwing tears and bombs at stuff, going, I don't know what's going on. I got the stuff for 4 years now. That time three people have died. Jesus. What? Look after yourself. This being a yellow, you really gotta shake the ever-loving dickens out of it. Just give it the business. So we get a nice small brush. Small brush, yeah, it's a size one. So the plan here is, theoretically, is to put a little bit of yellow, but it's quite transparent, so it should just... So we'll see how we go. Just to make it look a bit more noxious. Because a cloud of, you don't want it like a cloud of yellow and green, smoky pus being blown at you, do you? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you do. Like, I've been to this. I've got family out in America, so I haven't actually had chance. Strangely, like whenever we went out to America to visit family, like we very much wanted sort of like we weren't, because it was family we were visiting. It wasn't like a touristy holiday, so we got to do like really mundane, like what would be considered like mundane things. And honestly, the highlight of one of them was the very first time I went to Walmart, because it was like a favourite place, and this was before Walmart bought out Asda, which is a chain of supermarkets in the UK. So that was crazy.
Noish.
Leanne King, welcome to the Wild Art. Oh, thank you very much for becoming a member, Leanne. Oh, you absolute champion. That's great. Oh, it's lovely. As always, a big thank you to everybody who has tuned in, who's decided to become a member, like donated and things like that, is so appreciated, and it warms the cockles and the gubbins and the touchy feely parts that I have inside. So thank you so much, Leanne. Oh, I tell you what, it is tricky to paint under this. I need to try and see if I can get this whole crane arm attached to like up somewhere higher, something like that. See if we can do that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so you can kind of see, I'm putting the black backdrop there. It does have a bit of differentiation. My words are not of the highest of qualities this day. I apologise for that. And my hands are not of the highest of qualities either. But it's fine. You know, we're here for just like a paint and a chill and a good time. And yes, the warming of my loins. Wait, what? It's unusual to have Mikey in the chat. But it's always good to have him. And if you ever want to chat to ourselves, you know, me, Mikey, or Jules, we're usually hanging around the Discord in some shape or form. Yes, thank you, Jacob. Words are hard some days. Sometimes you wake up and the English language has decided, nah, we're just going to knock it up to hardcore mode today. So, like we did last time, looking around, everything's sort of like blocked in for like non-metallics and things like that. I've still got some other bits and pieces to do, so I don't want to go for the metallics straight away. Or do I? Or do I? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm going to live back on the desk again. Yep. Yeah, I do want to go for the metallics, so I will go for the metallics. Go for this one because I want him to be keeping in the sort of the bright and noxious theme. I'm gonna. Oh, I'll also have to apologise because I've got bits of chili. No, English hardcore mode is still a bit away from German. I took 3 years of German in high school, and I can only say like one. I can understand some German. I can't really speak. I can't speak it fluently. I can't. I can actually. I say that like I've got another stage under it. I can barely speak German. I can kind of understand some German, and I think the only thing that I can say in German now is probably entirely wrong, but it's Deine Kaninchen has essen mein Ananas, which I think is something about a rabbit eating my pineapple. I'm sure Gimli will keep me right about what I just said. I may have just insulted an entire clan. Okay, so what we're going to do here, so we're going to stop hitting the camera rig. No, we're not. We're going to continuously hit the camera rig. Yes, the Germans are almost also famous for their chocolate. So we're just going to go around here and just highlight. It's not a highlight, we're base coating the metallics here. So we're just going to, because I love Retributor armor, and I will find almost any excuse to paint it onto everything I can. That's why I loved Stormcast so much. Yeah, it's your rabbit ate my pineapple. Ah, fantastic, good. I haven't been like... That's great. It's always nice to know that I've got something right. I don't know how far that's going to get me in life. I haven't been to Germany in 18, 19 years. I went to Cologne in the Rhineland and visited the Rhineland as part of a school trip in year 9. So I would have been, hang on, I would have been like 13, 14. So yeah, like 17, 18 years ago. It was beautiful. Jesus Christ, do you guys know how to make a pretzel? Best pretzels I've ever had. Like, also, I'm just a big fan of a country whose default condiment is mayonnaise. Ah, right. I'll keep that one in mind, if I ever find myself in Germany again. But yes, went to Cologne, visit the Rhineland, and went to your absolutely glorious theme park, Phantasialand. Yes, I know you can do more than pretzels, but you also had, like where I was, also had a lot of pretzel stands. Also, you guys are onto the right thing of like cold cuts and meat for breakfast. Like that was a revelation game changer. But yes, there was a lot of pretzel stands wherever we went, so I ate a lot of pretzels, which does explain the size that I am now, because I find it very hard to turn down a hot pretzel stand. And we're gonna. So what else we got around here that we can give the old gold treatment to? I'll show you what, because I keep if I there we go. Now I won't fly, I won't be off camera as much, hopefully. Hey, hi Telford, good to see you, buddy. Hi Sean. Ooh. So the great thing about a lot of this is that with Death Guard, I have a lot of intricate details, but they also are very stinky, smelly, pustulant, grimy boys. So there's an amount of forgiveness that you can have with like any overspill, mistakes, or missed parts and things, because you just slather the lot in some like detritus. And there's a handy little painting tip for you. If you overspill, just put some weathering or battle damage or anything like that. Just some uggity boogity bits. Life's a good. Life's a good one. Dresden during Christmas. Good. Hello, Bryn. Brynetch. Aye. There we go. I'm very bad for being able to say people's names. And as we discussed earlier, words are just sort of failing me today, so you'll have to bear with me if I just sort of degenerate into gurgling. You'll keep me right, yeah? I got faith that you guys will keep me on the straight and narrow. Make sure I don't just sort of trail off into incomprehensible shrieking. Burn etch. Right, there we go. What's the longest you've ever spent painting a model? I think Archeon certainly took me the longest. He took me about nearly 6 weeks to finish. Yeah, I think it was about 6 weeks he took to finish, because he's a huge model and there was a lot of terror involved. But even then, he probably would have taken longer, but I was painting him on a time scale because I got him for my birthday, and then the following month we were going down to Warhammer World, so I wanted him painted up for when we were having games down there. And I managed it. The rest of the army wasn't painted, but bugger that. At the time, the Slaves to Darkness didn't have a proper battle tome, so it was a horrible, just like, it was basically just Blades of Corn mixed with some no, it was just Blades of Corn and then Archeon slapped in the middle. So like single miniature, but the longest I ever painted in one sitting was, there's there's two situations that's tied for. There was one, I did an all-day build and paint competition in my local GW years and years ago, like back when like Warhammer Fantasy was still a thing. The idea was the shop opened at like 6 a.m. and you had until closing to build, prime, and paint and base a model. Oh, excuse me. And Muggins here decided that he was gonna go big before he went home. So everybody else bought like a character model, like a bright wizard or a vampire lord or a white king or something like that. Dickhead here thought, no, this will not do. That's easy mode. Not character model on like a 25mm base. No, we're not doing that. Instead, I picked something else. And I still have it because I refuse to part with it. Oh, it's so dusty. I'm sorry. Apologies in advance. But it is this. It is a Necrosphinx from the Tomb Kings. Oh, just dip me knuckle in gold paint. So yeah, I painted this guy up so I had him built, primed, and painted in a little under 12 hours, I think it was. So that was probably like one of my longest paint sessions. The other one was when I was cramming for Armies on Parade in 2017, I think it was. And I'd left it way too late. Like I'd blown my own personal deadlines entirely, and so it was the night before Armies on Parade, and there I was painting up until, oh god, it was like, yeah, I think it was like until nearly like 5 a.m. Painting pretty solidly. I think that was like another 8 to 10 hour session of just painting for Armies on Parade, getting it all sorted. Sometimes you just hit a zone with something and you kind of you soldier on. but I would not advise to do that if you're if you're sitting down and doing some painting and things like that. Take breaks. Take breaks, because there will come a point that your models will start laughing at you. They will gain sentience. You will see them move and talk. Be slipping and shaking the paint everywhere. Yeah, there is, like you said before, there was a distinctive decline in quality across the whole army board. Um, so yeah, that was something that, like, that's when I had a word with myself and went, I'm never doing this one again. Not if I want to do something that I'm proud of. Like, I entered armies on parade, and like I was just, it was more the fact that, like, at this point I was like, I've got to enter something. Like, I've spent all this time, and then to not enter, it'd just be pointless. But looking at it, I was like, no, no. If I'm going to do that again, I'm doing it with a solid game plan in mind. But also, I was running on so much caffeine and pure adrenaline. It was like that episode of Futurama where Fry drinks 300 cups of coffee and just sort of like hits the zone. Yes, that's the big thing. Well, I need to be. There needs to be three saints of patience in this body, in this mortal form, because I'm dealing with three sinners. Oh, sorry, some me. Oh, my, little crack and a crack. Mm. So yeah, that's looking a lot better now that we've got some metallics on it. Hang on, I'm just swinging around. Where's the camera gone? So it looks a little bit nicer with a bit more oomph and zhuzh, as they call it. I think I'm going to be a bit lazy and use steel paint rather than lead belcher, even though lead belcher is probably, when you're in the zone, you don't even know what time is, let alone what time is, like what time it is. You don't know what it is. The concepts of just fall away from you. Jules is, yes, he's fairly well behaved. I'll give him that. You know, God bless though. I love Jules when he comes with a plan. He's just talking to like an NPC, or he's trying to work out something, and I'm just like, no, just take the path of least resistance in this situation. Where he doesn't see, where he should see a an interesting conundrum, or a way out, or something like that, he doesn't see. But when it's something very straightforward, that's when the old noggin kicks into overdrive, and he starts trying to find different ways. So this is just some Vallejo steel. I do enjoy Vallejo metallics. They're grand. Oh, I realise I've missed that one, so I'm going to just paint them both silver now, because I can't be bothered to go back. I always feel really bad because sometimes, yeah, when I get into like a painting zone, or like if I'm just doing like a bit of hobby, I always feel like really bad because like I'm like concentrating on like one little piece, or like a step in my painting, and then somebody will come in and just be like, "Oh, hey, oh, I've seen this," or "Oh, would you like to do this later?" And I was like, "Yes, I would love to give this more attention." And I think I just come across as a bit of an arse. So I really, So if you ever see me painting in the wild, and I come across as a bit distant, honestly, it's nothing on you. I love you. I love you dearly, and I'm very interested in what you have to say. But my mind can only concentrate on paint right there, there and then. Like, give me a moment to finish what I'm doing. I'll put everything down. I'll turn and I'll speak, and then we'll have a good conversation. We'll find out what's going on with this, that, and t'other. Oh, here comes fun. Trying to get the chainmail at the back there. You know what? That went all right. That went pretty all right. Enjoying that. So there we go. That's all looking quite nice. Isn't that grand? That's looking great. So I think what we're going to do as well. What we're going to do as well is we're going to give it another all-over wash, because I like what the Plague Bearer Flesh did last week for a bit of definition, but I think it can be grosser. I think we can make it more weird and gross. So I absolutely think we should. Before we do, I'll make sure the metallics on that are completely dry, and we'll go back and we'll do the metallics quickly on this chap here. So does anybody have any grand weekend plans? Apart from obviously tuning in for the next thrilling installment of Voyage of the Fallen Star, Part 2, Roar of the Blazing Isles. I nearly forgot which one we were on there. I mean, obviously that's everyone's Sunday plan. It's sorted, done deal. Tell your nana. D&D's on. Oh, almost. Almost. Not quite, though. Hey, Jenko. Got quite a busy week, a busy but fun weekend ahead of myself. So obviously I've got the stream right here, right now. And then tomorrow I am tutoring my very first painting class for some people, because they have all expressed an interest in getting into hobby painting. So I said that I'd host a painting class for them. So I gave them a list of stuff that they needed to get. And we're all gonna get together. I'm gonna teach some people how to paint. It honestly, it's honestly really nice to see how many people that are just going like, oh yeah, of course I'm going to be watching D&D on the Sunday. I'm like, I love that. Like it. Just want to let you all know I appreciate the hell out of you guys all tuning in to watch the continuing adventures of the crewmen of the Soggy Gusset, whatever it's called. I can't remember now. I think it changes whenever they feel like it, which I'm fine with. No, Mikey might drop in because he said he just wanted to get a touch up on the fundamentals again because it never hurts. But no, he'll be. I think he's aiming to do an afternoon stream tomorrow as well. So while I'm teaching some new and eager people the fundamentals and the wonders of hobby painting and painting miniatures, hopefully Mikey will be entertaining all you lovely lot. Painting metallics. Painting metallics. That's my painting metallics song. Ooh, I'm looking forward to getting all these little bits and pieces finished because I have had, I've been jonesing to get some dirt and grime on this bad boy, so I can't wait to get that done. It's gonna be a good time. Good time for slime. It is true. I do put a fair amount of effort. Like the Dungeon in a Box stuff is absolutely fantastic. I would recommend it to anybody who just wants to like get a D&D campaign going with their friends. Like you can start playing it straight out of the box, but it's a little harder to run when you've got John, Mikey, and Jules, who I know aren't deliberately trying to break things. And to be honest, I could probably have stopped them on more than one occasion. I'm an enabler. I am a player enabler. But yes, I do enjoy. I enjoy the Dungeon in a Box stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a great story. I'm excited to keep the story going because I'm quite a few modules ahead now. But I realized early on that I can't get too far ahead when it comes to the planning because anyone who's ever DM knows that like your players can throw absolute chaos into your best laid plans very quickly. So there's no point really trying to go too far ahead in your planned adventure. Okay, have I missed anywhere on here? Oh, there's another little fly icon there. I do like the fly icons. They're very cool. Very cool, very suave, very handsome. I like them. Well, when it comes to the plan like D&D plans, I very much follow Leonard Snart in Flash, where it's you make a plan, you stick to the plan, expect the plan to fail, throw out the plan, make a new plan. Repeat as necessary. But yes, no, like I was saying, it means an awful lot as someone who was spent the first month and a half, basically the month and a half, quite badly shitting themselves at the prospect of DMing live to people that to an audience of people that was expecting content. So I'm very glad that you guys enjoy watching our streams and what we put on for you, because that's the aim. That's what we were aiming for. So metallics are sorted on old baby shit. He is just about, yeah, he'll be dry now. So we're going to give him another all over wash with something nice and dingy. I think oh, do we go dingy or do we go off? I'll do a test patch, see how I feel. We'll do a little test, like somewhere that you can't see straight away. So put it here. Oh, I like that. Right. Okay, we're doing that. Oh yes. Oh yes. Just getting weird and gross with this. I love it. So what I've really come to love about these painting streams is I can just do whatever, do whatever sort of springs to mind at the time, and I'll style it out later, or style it out never. It's all gross and icky all over. Yeah, you can't. Maybe on DM's fudging rolls, either help the player or hurt them. I personally don't do it because I really feel like I don't know. I don't like fudging rolls because I feel like it's cheating everybody out of an experience. Because at that point, why I don't know why ask if you're not willing to like take the risk of something. You as a DM can choose to make something happen or not. So I sort of like I've never written it down, but I have a general sort of like idea in my head about how difficult something is. Also, like I said, I am a player enabler, so I do tend to like give people the opportunity to try something. because honestly, 9 times out of 10, I am just as fascinated with like how something will turn out as the players are, because I'm there for a story as much as the players are. So I don't think there's anything wrong with fudging rolls, because sometimes, like, for whatever reason, you wanna craft like a certain tale or a certain, there's something in the story that you need to tell. So maybe a fudge roll or something like that can be beneficial. I'm not like blanketly against them. It's just not something that I really want to do all that much. Because, like I said, I don't want to cheat my players out of an experience. I don't want to cheat myself out of an experience. A good poker face. Ah, I never really thought of myself as having a good poker face. I just kind of look at what's going on and go, right, that's happened now. We move on. We continue. So, the bagpipe, yeah, the fear of the thunder wave of the bagpipe. Well, I mean, that has been a personal DM highlight of mine to craft like I don't get the opportunity very often in my DM, like when I've DM'd groups in the past, to make magical items. I just tend to give, like, if somebody finds a magical item, that's always cool. But I don't craft a lot of them. I just loved what John did with the bagpipe so much, and the fact that it had this amazing name of Big Lad Shitwife, that it had to be a magical item. It had to take on sort of properties of its own. Lars, you're about to highlight your first mini. Probably wish you luck. Good luck, my buddy. Good luck. And when I DM, I avoid it as best I can. Maybe I'll make an exception to save a PC in early game, but the longer a game goes on, yeah, I mean, it always sucks if someone, like, really absolutely just bodges everything and like dies. You can kind of do the old, like, the sort of the hand of God kind of thing. Just like you come in and you go, not today, not today. You know, you will not see Saint Michael at the gates this hour. So we've given that all a horrible grubby wash. So the wash I used, if anyone's following along at home, is Juicy Violet, which is a obnoxiously powerful violet color. Clues in the title. But I think that's worked really well with the noxious green. Like, it's brought everything down a bit, so we can always like highlight it back up. I mean, we're going to be highlighting most of the gubbins anyway, but I think it just gives a nice stark contrast. That's also pooling really badly at the bottom, I've just seen, so we'll mop that up, and give it all shufty, give it a shufty round. Oh my god. Yes, coin has been a it's been a good sort of like cold response word. Just give him a coin. Give him a coin. He's fine. Like, I really wish early times. I mean, I might have to go back and go through the streams and things and see how much money he actually has made from coin. Right, so we'll move on to this horrible, grotesque old baby shit. Yes, I do love the bagpipe. I would like to make more magical items, just to flex the old homebrew DMing muscles. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the coin's never specified. So I mean, we could always just work out how many coins he has. Just we don't know what the actual numerical, like the actual sovereignty value of them is. Um, but we'll just work out how many coins he actually has. All right, everything's a bit. I've got a bit of an itchy bunce there for a second. Ooh. There we go. That's much better. Right, so we'll give this a absolute god-awful wash in. What should we go? You know what? Since we're making everything real nasty, how do you keep up with the motivation to paint? Honestly, motivation is a lie to me. Like motivation is a happy accident, because if you rely on motivation, you'll never get anything. You'll only get like one thing done. You'll be like, oh, I'm not motivated. Sometimes, even if it's like 10, 15 minutes, I'll sit down and I'll like clean some mold lines off like models, or I'll build something that's been sat on a shelf for a while, or even like just organizing some stuff in my hobby areas, like reorganizing paints, like small stuff like that. Um, it keeps me committed in the hobby, but without having to take that whole idea of, oh, I need to do this, I need to get all this, I need to do things like that. Like it has that's not something that's come easy to me either. Like that's a long personal process for myself, because I have a very bad tendency of doing something, putting it down and going, yeah, great, now what can I do? And I think you need to take time to sit down and look at what you've already accomplished, draw a line under everything else, as whether it's a finished project or not. If you're what you've done in one sitting or one session, or even like I said, 5, 10 minutes or something like that in your day, I think it's very important to take a step back and draw a line under it and have a look and appreciate and be compassionate with yourself. That's the thing. You've got to be really compassionate with yourself, and relying on motivation it's both an easy cop out and a very difficult standard to live for. It's a double-edged sword. So yeah, so the motivation thing, I think at the end of the day, is that I don't rely on motivation. I mean, if I'm not in a mood to enjoy the hobby, I won't force myself, because then I dislike painting, and I don't want to do that because I enjoy painting. I paint because I enjoy it. I paint because it brings me joy. Um, so I don't force myself. But even like I said, even if it's simple things like decluttering my hobby space, doing a couple of like mold lines on a model, like I've got a bunch of stuff like just sat just off camera here that I've been working on. There's stuff like all around me in different places, in different areas, and I just don't put a lot of pressure on myself. I mean, there are times where you do have to get things done, like in the past when we've been sent out stuff, like our very first video, Warcry. Um, we got that set, I think. Well, it arrived at the office, I think a week before the pre-orders went up. I didn't get my grubby little hands on it until 3 days after that. So I had 4 days to paint the iron golems and all the scenery. Like build it as well, build, prime, and paint. I had 4 days to do all of that. And Mikey helped a bunch, thank God. But I think even it was such a mammoth task. Mikey ended up with horrendous hand cramps for like 4 days afterwards, after we'd gone through it all, had that crunch period. Um, so things like that, I think having being sort of like time sensitive, goal oriented in mind, like that one was good, because that was less about being motivated and more about the task itself. It became a challenge. But yeah, for the most part, I just like I know I'm always going to be my own biggest critic, and I'm never, you know, when is anything really finished? Like I've got stuff that I've finished, but I'm like, have I finished it? Have I really? Could I go back and do things? You know, like, That's insane, especially when in terms of hobby painting. I think that's a way for insanity, because like I said, I paint for enjoyment. I don't paint to win competitions. I don't paint to win, you know, win, adulation, or like, I don't paint for vanity. I paint for enjoyment. I post for vanity. Like if I look at something that I've painted, I'm like, snap a shot of that, put that up online, and be like, hey, look at my thing. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, it is. Like now, press the buttons and like do the thing where I see the numbers go up and I get the happy juice soak in my brain. Yeah, I'll post for vanity, but I don't paint for vanity. I paint because I enjoy it, like good or bad. And it's still a learning experience as well. If I do something bad, I can learn from it. If I do something good, I can learn from it. I was very secure this way, and I've kind of lost myself in my own point here, but I really hope people took something from that. Who knows? And now we'll go back to actually checking the chat. Mikey's enchanted loincloth. Ooh, fancy. You can borrow my idea about the cat of holding, or interdimensional kitty is my partner. Cat of holding. Ooh, that's a thing. Oh, hey, View Smythe. Good to see you. I got myself into a bit of a thing there about painting motivation. So we'll get back on it by smothering this bad boy in some flesh shade, which is sort of like a brownie ready kind of wash. So that should do some nice gross stuff to this. I think studying it killed my passion a bit. It's being scrutinized on my way. Yeah, that's fair. Yep, Chinese democracy is a pretty good indicator for chasing perfection and why that's a bad idea. But because of Chinese democracy, I got a free Dr. Pepper. So, it's not all bad. Um, but yeah, on the speaking of like studying and like studying art and what have you, uh, I was heavily discouraged as a child from doing any sort of art, because I had art classes when I was younger, like dedicated art classes when I went to secondary school, and when it came to after year 9, you could like pick your GCSEs. If you're from England, you know how GCSEs work, but they're just basically like sort of mid-range uh, qualifications. And you can pick your subjects, but my school was heavily discouraged me from pursuing any form of art, and it really knocked me. Like as a kid, to be told that like, oh, you're the wrong type of creative was like, looking back on it now, it's just like I would love to have a word with these people, but then again, I don't need to have a word with these people because I am in the absolutely gorgeous position where I can sit down on a Friday night and paint and do art and be creative and share that with people. So to the people at my old school, I win. So here's the double-edged sword with this silver that I used, the steel from Vallejo, is that it's got great coverage, but it is also super, super glossy. super shiny. So these washes that I use don't tend to stick to it very well. So you've got to really like, sometimes you've got to go over like 2 or 3 times just to make sure that it's all there, because it just slides off so quickly. Absolute bullshit, because I'm the eye of the beholder. It is. Like, I don't quite understand like how as a teacher, like as a someone who's meant to be shaping young minds can be like, ah, maybe we don't shape this one. Like, that's just awful. So, you can see that's more definition. So we might go over with like another wash just to make it even grimier. But I did have some really gross plans. I've got some pots of really gross stuff. Should be fun to play around with. But we shall see. So we'll let that dry. Is that? Oh, that's still drying because it's been quite a heavy wash. But you can see, unlike the silver, I'm not gonna. I'll use my handy pointing stick. So you can see on these, like the parts that I painted silver, so around here in the chainmail and things, because it's so glossy, it's still very bright. So we might have to go back over that again with something else just to darken it down. Although that's not too, for God's sakes, I'm gonna just keep hitting the hell out of this. So that's not too bad on this model because we kind of want it to be like screaming. They're like I don't want this thing just to be performing for the game club. I want it to be screaming at the Taco Bell across the street and like the two stray dogs that are fighting in the car park behind it. Like I want to like this thing to reach frequencies unheard of to man and how loud this can be. But we'll still have to like I did wanted to get some more highlighting done, but that's still drying, so we're gonna have to leave that to dry. So if anyone's got any, leave that to dry. If anyone's got more any questions or requests or anything like that, we'll chat about some D&D, some Warhammer, anything like that. I'm stuck in all preaching now. No, that's quite all right, David. Like it's one of these things where like I'm very passionate about it as well, so I can totally understand like the like that fire, that little part of your lizard brain that goes, no, I don't like that. Stop that. Do I have anything weird and wonderful to show? It's like I tend to have something lined up as weird and wonderful in my hobby life that I like to show off. Oh, I mean, there's crumbles. I've got a little plastic tile of crumbles. When will the party meet their first mimic? I was at level 3. They might have already met a mimic. They may have already met a mimic and just never knew it. Do you have fond memories of your first ever D&D campaign? Right, my first D&D campaign. I do actually. I do. It was a weird. It was a weird sort of 6 degrees of separation that I got into it. So I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. Like it was pretty much all I did for a while. Like Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King kind of time. And so I played in an RP guild because I enjoyed the story of Warcraft. So you know, I played it. I was a paladin. I was a blood elf paladin, so we were the blood knights, and we all had these things. But we ended up making friends like IRL with people in the guild, and so some of their friends, one guy in the guild, we got chatting with some of their friends, and they were like, "Oh, you do the like the Warcraft roleplay stuff," and I was like, "Hey, yeah." Like, "Oh, who's you're like, "Oh, yeah, have you ever played D&D?" And I was like, "Oh, no, like I picked up the 3.5 edition books in like a car boot sale, but I never did anything with them because I didn't have any really one to play with, and I didn't understand the rules fully." So this guy was like, "Oh, well, we play online, like on like a text, like a group text forum thing. We all play online, like live. You know, it's like Messenger. It was like Messenger or something like that. It wasn't Messenger. It was something. It was something dedicated because it had like the R roll thing. It wasn't Roll 20. It was something else. I can't remember. But this is going back like I said, this is Burning Crusade time. So this is like 2008, something like that. So like this is going back like 12 years. So we played there, and it was an Eberron campaign. And I mean, if you've seen the role models video, you know, and I do have a lot of fun memories of it because it was a like I made some friends. I did something that was a bit more social than just grinding on Warcraft. You know, I actually spoke to new people and made some friends and things, and then managed to play like other RPGs with them. Over time, like things like fizzled out. People went to university. People got married. Jobs moved away. That things like that. But no, yeah, I do look back on that really fondly because it was a big turning point to me that like there was more out there. Like it scratched the surface. That was more out there, and it was more accessible than I first thought when it came to like tabletop RPGs and like board games, card games, like just everything, like anything like physically nerdy that wasn't like a video game. So yeah, looking back on that like very fondly. Need a crumbled model for you to print. Yeah, I've been trying to find like the perfect owlbear mini that I'm definitely gonna like. That's getting printed up, or possibly like one day down the line we'll get we'll get a Crumbles designed and print it off and get it sent out to people maybe. Um, I guess the ship is just a very patient mimic. It could be. It could be. Yes, I know. I don't know why, but like very strange. Like strangely, I threw like Crumbles is not part of the Dungeon in a Box campaign whatsoever. There is an owlbear in the very first in the first encounter, and there is like a thing where you can either like just try and fight it, but he's incredibly difficult because he's a fucking owlbear and you're like a level 1 character, or you can like befriend him a bit, but he kind of just like saunters off like, oh, you've appeased the owlbear, it wanders off. I just really like the idea of like an owlbear. Like I saw this in the box when it first arrived, and I was just instantly like, oh no, this is something special. Like I'm just not letting this go by the wayside, and neither of us are the party. And so here we are, some 10 months later, and yeah, Crumbles is a firm favourite amongst others. The ship is another dragon turtle in disguise. I like that one. That's a good one. But yes, what else do I have on my shelves of weird stuff? Yeah, just doing a bit of a show and tell and a bit of a story time. I'm having a lovely time doing this. Um, I've mentioned it in the past, but I've sent a board game, not a board game, sorry, it's like a war game called Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, and they have really been ramping up this stuff. So it's like I need to get on this. I need to get more of this done. And so I built up they're called Vanguard Marksmen, and they are, or Marksman Clones, I think they're called. So I've been building these up, and they're very cool models. They're very interesting. They're very weird. Yeah, they've got like they've got three arms, so they can. The idea of them is that like narratively wise, they're always like notching, pulling back, and firing an arrow, and they've always got something ready, and I always really like that. And they're with them being clones as well. They're sort of like batch grown, so they're basically they're fodder as well. Like, they've been genetically engineered, and this is a fantasy game. This is like a rank and flank fantasy game, much like Warhammer Fantasy was back in the day. But there's like this faction, the Spires specifically, is all about like they're all about like genetic engineering and things like that, but under the guise of like magic. Your dragon tail slightly inspired my whale dragon. Save. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that flag is gonna have some serious detail on it. I don't know. I'm gonna do that. Crumbles is gonna go down a G. I think Crumbles is gonna outlive you all. To be honest, Mikey, I think he's gonna outlive you all. But yeah. Also, if anyone's got any yes, Captain Crumbles. He is a captain. Captain Crumbles. I love that. Let's see, how's this doing? This is dry, nearly dry, nearly dry. So I'll have a bit more of a chat, and then we can start doing some grand old highlighting. Well, yeah. So mentioned last week, and it's in the Discord if people are there. That I was challenged to a painting competition starting in February. We've got a short list of the themes, which are Mecha, Undeath, Cyberpunk, Unicorn, and Hello Kitty. So there's a pin post in our arts and crafts channel on the Discord. So if you get yourself over to the Discord, you can vote just like using the emojis. That's how we do the vote polls. And then so whichever one comes out on top, I think Hello Kitty is ahead by a country mile at this point. Fantastic. That's the theme. We're going to pick a model, paint it up, and then we'll post it to the community. People can have a vote on it, see who's better. It's by so the guy that challenged me is a chap goes by the name Green Skull Painting. He's absolutely fantastic. He did a custom war bike boss for Jules a while ago, and I do love his painting. He's fantastic. You can check him out on Instagram. He's great. He's minging him. Yes, yeah. The Death Guard guys are looking absolutely atrocious. I feel the cat needs a little cuddle as well. He seems to be getting booted in the sea. Captain Catapult is had. Poor Captain Catapult, he's had the worst time of it. Once again, he was not a character that I was expecting the crew to take on board. But they have. They've got old Captain Catapult. They have a motley crew, and I love it. I really hope as the campaign progresses, they get a huge crew of very unique individuals, which I know the possibility of some of them, which should be a good time. But yes, the other thing as well is that we'll look to finish these guys off pretty much this session. So I'll have to think of something else to paint up or do, or maybe like do a little sort of like live tutorial thing of like how I do bases or something along those lines. How I craft like little bits and pieces. Have a play around with things. Another thing that I have massively got into recently is Gunpla, which is Gundam model kits, for those who don't know, because I freaking love giant robots. And finding out that there are giant robot model kits is brilliant. I mean, the model kits aren't giant; they're pretty big, but you know they're not 1-to-1 scale. That would be well, you'd hear about that in the news. I'd be storming the countryside in a giant robot. It'd be great. It's full of fun with stress. Well, that's the thing about Catapult. Like, you know, he's a cat, so he might have 9 lives. Don't know how many he's got left now, but I will find something, says Mikey. Oh, Mikey's going to find something. Ah, brilliant. Oh dear. do the do the robots. I could always like I started on one kit today that I got, and I've made some made some legs. Look at that, nice pair of shapely legs. Oh, oh, such articulation. Oh, I actually really like the fact that you. Oh, okay, that just came off. I like the fact as well that as you move it, the plates move and slide as well. Like that just blows my mind. I was doing that for ages, just going like, ah, cool. Right, hang on, back you go. Is that the right way around? I don't know. Anyway, yes. So I love me some giant robots. Recently watched Iron Blooded Orphans. Loved it. A big Shogun Beastie Man. I could. That's another one. It's another kit that I've got over there. That could be a fun one to do. But yes, so we'll have a word. Do you ever sell any models painted? I've never actually. No, I've never sold. I've never sold a single model I've painted. I've either done them as gifts. I've either given them away, traded them, but I've never sold them. To be honest, I've never really thought of myself as uh, the kind of painter with the ability to charge people for stuff that I've done like that. I also wouldn't know what to charge. I'd probably undersell myself. Like, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, what's the RRP of this?" I was like 25 quid. Right, okay, I'll sell it for like a tenner because I've basically ruined these. um, I mean, I've done a few commissions in the past. I would love to do some more commissions this year. It's one of my 2021 sort of goals. Like I didn't want to do New Year's resolutions because once again, like that's a lot of undue pressure to ruin yourself in like 2 months' time. Um, but I would like to take on some commissions because I've done a few in the past. I've done a couple for Jules. I've done some. I did some for friends. When I was like 2 years ago, I was when Hero Forge became like a big thing, and so like custom D&D figures were all the rage. Had quite a few of my friends come to me and asked me to paint up their Hero Forge figures, which was quite fun. So I made a little bit of scratch on the side there, but I would like to take on some more paid commissions just to see whether it's something I could sustainably do in the future. Um, because I want to be able to earn a living from what I love, which is I know is a strange thing in this day and age. Um, but yes, that's a very long term goal. I've got an entire year to get that sorted. So I think he's just about dry enough now, which is fantastic. That's great. That's what we want. So now we'll do some highlighting here. So what we've got here, we've got Warlord Purple. Because I don't know what I did with my Squid Pink. And did Hello Kitty would be a fun paint, I think. Yes, I think it would be. My phone has just told me that, I've gone live. Brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. Did you know? Did you know Live and Let's Dice have gone live? No, tell me more. Right, okay. As I said, doing a bit of a no-no here by, painting metallics and then using dirty metallic paint water. But you know what? We're living free. We're living dangerously. We're having a good time here. So we're just gonna. Right, so it's. Okay. So we'll just go over some of the stuff that we did just to make it all nice and horrible, horrible pinks and purples. Yeah, only 84 minutes late. That makes me really worried about people getting like notifications for our channel if I'm getting a notification for it, like, an hour and a half late. That's a smart plan, that. I don't know if you commissions as well. People seem to think that paintings and drawings should cost the same as a print. Yeah, that's a whole kettle. Like, just friggin' pay artists. It's not hard. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna go quickly around here and just brighten things up a little bit. I can hear Chris, my one of my housemates, who lives with me and Mikey. He's listening to Gajira in the kitchen. We'd be rich if photos didn't exist. No, no, I'd still be poor. I dread to think how badly somebody would want to beat my ass after they commission me. It's like, paint me in miniature form. And they're like, yes, of course, here it is. He's covered in blood and grime. Oh, well, thanks very much for, like, coming along and chilling out with us in the stream. But also, please don't, exhaust yourself. Like, sleep is very important. Like, painting is important, but as I discussed earlier, like staying up until stupid o'clock because of painting, it does not do wonders for the mind nor body. Oh, yeah. You see there, just a bit of a highlight, make it all pop pink again. Well, the hope and dream is for us all to be able to do this full time, because we've all got day jobs. It's just the three of us. Well, who knows? Fingers crossed. We might be able to take this full time. If things keep going the way they're going, we might be able to. We want now. Oof, nice rich purple.
Noish.
Oh, Gimli, you absolute ledge. Sure as I haven't donated in a while. So there you go, mate. One step closer for a full-time lad. Oh, thank you very much for your donation, man. It's much appreciated. Do, do. Get a bit more in here. Oh, I love a good purple me. Do, do. Jules is a very busy man. Bless him. He works damn hard. Well, the pair of them do. Mikey works really hard as well. I mean, like this is like day job, but also with his streaming and stuff. I'm constantly very proud to be able to do this kind of nonsense with. I say nonsense. It's not nonsense. It's a lot of fun, but it's great to do this with like me two best mates. Not something that I thought I'd get a chance to do, to be honest. Also, not something that I thought people would enjoy. I'm very proud of my friends and everything they do. But like I said, I'm a bit of an enabler in these ones. It's like, it's like I had a bad day, so I've ordered 2 boxes of like 20 chicken McNuggets, and I'm like, yes, yes, 10. You you eat those nuggets. You eat the shit out of those nuggets. You can do this. Jules, I met through friends of friends, like very strangely. So I know Matthew from who does the YouTube channel Botchamania, and he also works with the Cultaholic guys. So I knew Matthew, who introduced me to um, Adam Blampier, who's a big fan of board games. I'd go over to his, play board games, stuff like that, and that's where I met Cleary and Jules. Me and Jules hit it off like straight away because I think I made like an offhand Warhammer reference, just when we were having polite conversation. And he was like, "Oh, do you like Warhammer?" And I was like, "Nah, I friggin' love Warhammer." He was like, "Oh, I've got like nobody I know up in Newcastle like plays Warhammer and knows anything about it or does anything with it." And I'm like, "Ah, well, you've just fucked up badly because I'm big into this shit." And then that's how we became friends. Me and Mikey met at a party of a mutual friend. It was weird. It was a birthday. Yeah, it was a friend's birthday. It was a house party, and um, was it Mike? Mikey was talking to somebody else, and he made a D&D reference, and I literally stopped everything I was doing and just turned around, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, is that Neverwinter Nights?" And like, yeah, he was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Oh, sweet, man." And we just hit it off from there, and we've become, and yeah, me and Mikey became like best mates like almost instantly. I think like after that we were like just like hanging out. I mean, it helped that we only lived a couple of streets away from each other at the time, and now we live together, so it's even easier to hang out. But we would like hang out together most days of the week, and like we started playing D&D together, playing like board games and stuff. It took me a while to finally like browbeat Mikey back into wargaming, into like miniature painting and stuff, but he got there. But he got there in the end, and yeah, so we were just like we were knocking around. We would always like play board games and stuff like that. And then like Jules approached us with the idea of like, oh, I'm gonna do Live and Let's Dice, and I want you guys on together, like us three who was doing this. And I was just like, hell yeah, like that sounds great. Like it sounds absolutely brilliant. Like I am 100% in for this. Um, it took like a lot of planning and a lot of work. I think it was like almost a year of discussing it and getting things sorted until we finally got the first videos that you've no doubt seen. And yeah, it's just kind of just gone from there really. But we've always been like friends first. So like Jules I've known for about 3 or 4 years, and Mikey I've known for about 6, I think. Yeah, I've known Mikey for about 6 years, I think. And people enjoy it. Tell you genuine people. Yeah, I think it's yeah. A few people have commented that you just tell that we are mates, and we were just 3 lugheads that love games and just hanging out, shooting the shit. It's great. And I love all you guys as well. Like it has been just such a weird thing. Like coming from a place where I was very like insular about my hobby. Like I was more than happy to share it with everybody, but I didn't have a platform or anything like that. I was just some basically just like one of those like random dudes that's in the town square screaming that like the end is nigh. But I'm just like, have you heard about Warhammer? It's great. Like that's why I'm covered in paint right now. But now I get to do this on a bigger platform, and you know 20,000 people have decided, yeah, I'm liking what you're putting down. Oh, like a big family. We call ourselves a little old army. Yes, yes, because that's step 4. We weaponize you. No, I'm just kidding. We're not actually going to do that. But yeah, so we've got some. Just made the purples pop a bit more and the pinks pop a bit more, so that's all looking quite nice and lovely. I'm enjoying that. That's good. So just like a couple more things, and that'll be just about done. I would say. So how long have we got left? We're at 25 minutes. Okay, so what we'll do, because I want to get the slime time grime going on, so we're gonna jump back to him because he's nice and dry now. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh. Ah, Christopher Ridge donated $6.66 through the super chat. Thank you very much. Just popping by to say hi while I'm at work. Have fun with the stream. Big love. Big love to you, Chris Ridge. Big love to you as well. Thank you very much. That's very kind. It's just, oh, oh. I'm really bad with like, I know like Jules gets flustered and sweaty. I just kind of go like I don't know. I kind of like downplay it because I don't want to like start shrieking. So like when people donate or like become members and things, I'm just like, play it cool. And then I try and play it too cool, and I always feel like it comes off as like a little bit ungrateful or insincere. So I really don't mean that. If it does, like, it's awesome. It is truly awesome. Now, where was I? Because I do this every time. That's right. We're gonna make baby poo even worse. By worse, I mean better. Are you actually drunk in your Drunken Ramblings videos? If not, that's very good acting. No, piss is a fart. Absolutely smashed out of my gourd. I was drunk as hell when we started filming, and I don't actually remember. If it wasn't for the fact that there's video evidence of it, I don't remember it ending. Like, it gets all a bit hazy at the end there, and you can also tell the point where I'm very hungry because I confused the word salami with Rubik's cube. Yeah, hammer smashed drunk. Uh, it was quite funny. It's quite funny because I came up with the concept because I watched Drunk History. Like, it's not like this is an original thing. I watched Drunk History and I was like, that's like Drunk History is great. Wouldn't it be great? Like, what do I know? And like, what can I talk about? Well, I can talk about Warhammer stuff. Like, I've done it before. I've done it before while drunk. I might as well do it in front of a camera. Um, so I pitched it as an idea to the group, and Jules was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea," and things like that. He was like, "Yeah, you should definitely do this. Like Lawhammer, like that's so great. Like, being like slur and everything like that." And then we said, "Right, okay, so we'll film it. We'll film it on like this night. So we got everything set up because we just filmed at home. Because it was It was the first lockdown in the UK at the time, so things were still like less sort of like soul shattering. Um, so we did that, and then I think it was like 2 days before we I messaged you saying, "Oh, okay, we're gonna film on this date." He goes, "Oh yeah, great," and things like that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to like, it's like, so I've got a bottle of vodka, I've got like I've got some like bubblegum soda, like that kind of thing. Like, just to let you know, it wasn't actually Windex I was drinking; it was vodka and bubblegum soda. Um, and Joe sent a message back. Just like in block capitals that just said, "Wait, are you seriously doing this drunk? Like, actually drunk?" And I went, "Yeah, of course I'm going to do it really drunk, like actual and factual drunk. I'm not going to pretend because if I pretend, it's going to look stupid. But if I'm actually drunk, I mean that's the point." So yeah, that's how that came about. Right. Yeah, yeah. The blue stuff I drink isn't actually Windex. It was like double triple shots of vodka and bubblegum pop. Is that what what I was drinking? Lawhammer was my introduction for you. Yeah, I'm glad that that's what's got you. That's what's got you into it. That's brilliant. I'd love if you read the donations. I might have to. When's the next video? We do have another video planned. We filmed part of it the other week with Mikey taking the reins on that one. So you get to see Mikey. As a follow-up, do you plan on doing orcs? I will do the orcs at some point because I think they've got a lot of like weird fun to be had. Oh, and just quickly, so this stuff is called typhus corrosion, which is basically like this oily, gritty paint. It's brilliant. You just slap it on everything, and you just get this like absolutely god-awful mess going on. So you just like, you're gonna slop it all over the place, like just wherever you think shite would collect. Just, so like under the armpits here, around about like in the creases of his armor here, just like. So I'm just using a nasty old brush that I only use for like base coats and crap like that. You know what? We're just gonna slap this all over here. But yes, I'd love to do the orcs because they do have a lot of interesting lore going on for them. And I did have a lot of fun being Lorehammer. The day after, I did not have as much fun. Well, I mean, who knows? Once we get Mikey's Lorehammered filmed and finished, maybe that might spur Jules to do the same. He can do his own Lorehammered, which I think that could be quite fun. I mean, I'd probably leave the orcs to him because he does love his orcs. What I would actually would love to do. Yes, Mikey's doing different lore. He's not doing 40k. He's approaching the other war. Yes, I know. No B&M do them, but the Iceland up the street from me also do them. So that's where I went. Right, so as you see here, just covered him in this typhus corrosion stuff. As I said, it's like an oily, greasy horror show of a paint, and I love it. So what we're going to do as well is we're going to get some other goo. It's all about the goo. Oh, it's caked in a bit. This is. Come on, you. Oh, made a mess. Oh, made a map. Oh, right, pig's ear of that. Hang on, I've got a pair of tweezers here. Try and pull this out. Oh, there's a nice paint bugger. Paint buggies. Lovely. Right, so get that proper shake now. Mm. Oh hell. Got it. Oh, thank God that paint is viscous. That could have gone badly. Very badly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take some Nurgle's Rot. And we're going to just goo it all up in the innards here. Just there, like that. I think also we're going to just make it look like a big old bogey now. Oh, and BPM. I think you'll make it eventually. It might take him a while, but I think he'll do it eventually. He's tenacious. He's tenacious. There we go. So we've got these two guys. So they're almost finished. Not quite. We've still got still a couple of things I want to do on him. But we'll just play around and experiment a little. What happens when I add yellow? Because my color theory is garbage. But I want to do a little something on the face here. Okay. A couple of these gloopy spots. Just a bit of differentiation there. There we go. Yes, I saw him finish the hard run. That was brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Next time I go for gin and iron brews. Gimli, no. Gin's awful. Oh, nah, I hate gin. Can't be getting away with that. Okay, that's quickness. Lawson, don't drink beer. That's gin. Yes, you keep the gin the hell away from me. Not a gin drinker. Like, all I ever see is people just come afoul on gin. And I'm just like, no. It also tastes terrible. Like, at least, like, you know, whiskey's got the good grace to taste like an actual fire pit, and vodka just has, you know, it just tastes like ethanol. Like, that's fair enough. But gin, it's just like, oh, we've got berries and we've got grapefruit. Like, I hate grapefruit as well. So people are just like, oh, have you tried grapefruit gin? And I was like, why would I take two things that I don't like and then put them into my body? No, thank you. Jaeger bombs, I think, is key. I was for Lawhammered. By the end of it, I was just drinking straight Jaeger. It doesn't like there's no actual video. There's no video evidence of it. I don't think. I might have some of the outtakes still. But yeah, between takes, I was just swigging straight Jaeger from the bottle. Because I don't know, I had it in my head that I somehow needed to be drunker, even though I was already 12 shots deep when we started rolling the camera. Not a smart man. So we've got like one last thing to do with this guy, and it should make things quite nice. Should, operative word here. So this is like a nice little combo paint. So what you can do Typhus Corrosion just like on its own. It's just like a nice greasy, like a greasy horror show on its own. But you can combo this with Riser Rust, which is very thick paint. The idea is that you dry brush it on. But that makes it all look rusty. I did make one of the outtakes into a GIF and I sent it to Jules, and I don't know what happened to it because I don't think I've got the link for it anymore. Right, so just get most of that off the brush so it's nice and there we go. You see here, so. So there you can see it's made him look all gross and rusty. So we'll finish off a little bit, sorry, a little bit more of. Like to mix vodka and energy drink, get away with spring drinks. Used to be that used to be my drink of choice back in college. There was a bar, a Trebles bar, which I don't know whether it's like a thing in other countries or even in other parts of the UK. Oh, it definitely will be. Trebles bar is like they do treble measures as standard. So there's a place called Gotham Town, and they did trebles for very cheap anyway, but they did them extra cheap if you were a student, which I was at the time. So go there. and you get a treble vodka and energy, and it was like mainlining like pure electricity directly into your lizard brain and your fat monkey heart. And that was a hell of a ride. Give me a oof. That place is closed down now, unfortunately, and probably for the best. It was absolutely heinous inside, but by God was it cheap. But let's have a look over. I remember vodka flavored schnapps. Like you're just taking the worst of both worlds and smashing them together. It's not even got the alcoholic content of vodka, but it just tastes like vodka. Right. So we've got old baby shit and toxic piss. So as you can see here, this was all basically just an exercise up the basement. Oh, Jesus Christ, basement's still going. Well, I mean, not currently, but it will be. Um, so yeah, this was basically just an exercise in showing that you can take two exactly the same model, built exactly the same way, both primed exactly the same way, but just two very different color schemes can give them two very different feels. So you can see it all there. I think it's worked out quite well. So you've got a very sort of like a degraded, rusty, a lot of like rot and decay, very earthy, very swampy, like very like earthen tones and things like that. And that's worked out quite well for one of them. And then with the other, just louder than God's revolver and twice as shiny. So nice sort of like a noxious green going into a putrid yellow for the smoke plume. Lots of like horrible putrid skin tones, some nice purples and things. And of course, like the acid green armor. I think it all works out well. I think it's nice. It's nice to have these opportunities to sit down and just compare and contrast. It's a good one. It's good stuff. So, oh, and the time, it's all wrapping up very nicely there. But so yeah, sumo model's done. We'll have a think. We'll have a workout. If people want to see me do some, I know Mikey's very excited to see me build some robots. So we always do like a chill and a build, something like that next week. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for sharing stories, asking questions, things like that. That's really nice. Like I know sometimes I can go a bit silent, but like we discussed earlier, get in the painting zone. Honestly, I am interested. I'm just trying not to screw up my paint too much. But yeah, like thank you to everybody who's subscribed, to everybody who's donated, to everybody who's become a member. That's absolutely amazing. We have we have a Twitter now. It only took 2 years, but we've got an official Twitter. Got an official Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, get yourself over, and it's loud tweet. Yeah, at loud tweet on Twitter. That's our official Twitter. So go follow us there. My Twitter is Murder Room Minis. I've changed it. I'm trying to get myself all on brand. You can find me on Instagram as well, and that's Murder Room Miniatures. Also on the Discord, you can find us there, all those places. And yeah. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, they're coming along nicely. I've already sent off. I sent off Ember Walker to Jules earlier because I had some like late Christmas presents and some other stuff to send to him. So I packaged that one in, and he loves it. Others are in the midst because I've got various other projects going. Like I was saying before, I try not to. I don't focus on 1, 2 things. And yes, it's been a lovely time. Mikey should be just starting to stream soon. I think he's just being nice and probably waiting for me to finish up. So which one is it? If I can do the thing, is it this one? I realise you can't hear me when I go to that screen, so that was. I'll have to say goodbye properly. Jesus Christ. Okay, thank you everybody else for tuning in. I've an absolutely stellar time, and I hope to see you all again soon. If you don't see me beforehand, you'll see me on Sunday, and if you don't see me on Sunday, you'll see me next Friday. It's as simple as that. Now go get yourself over to Mikey. Go see him. Go see him at Fang and Bang. Tell him I say hi. I'll tell him I say hi. I live with him. Go on, off you go. I love you all. Peace.